what I was into.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Like, I mean, if you have a professional interest in it, like Funkhouser does, I totally understand giving up 4 hours of your life that you're never going to get back under any situation ever and watching it. But otherwise, do what I did. Watch the Cliff Notes online the next morning.
Search John Travolta and Idina Menzel. And just watch that 100 times.
Yeah, that's uncomfortable.
My
that's
precious.
already been made into... Yeah. I pretends as you are... I pretends as you are a pool boy, my precious. That's how I'm so convincingly not gay in this. Oh, God, that was awkward.
Yeah. In one of his introductions, NPH made it seem as though he was going to introduce President Obama.
Hold on. Let's just back this one over to the side of the... Reality Turnpike. What did you just call him?
NPH. That's his nickname, right?
That's right up there with my side.
Well,
on this show.
I'm all about abbreviations.
On this show, we use full names.
All right.
One thing I've noticed is like guys that aspire to greatness. Have you ever noticed this? Like, if someone that's taken entirely too many sort of like, I don't know, positivity classes, or they've attended just a couple too many Anthony Robbins seminars, have you noticed how they refer to great men by only their first name? Like, I've got a friend who, oh man, I don't want to talk
like
about him.
Like Prince? Are you talking about Prince?
No, like other people. Like, okay, say you've got somebody who's like...
For a minute, I thought you were friends with Prince.
No. Like, I wish I was friends with Prince. That would be interesting. No, you know how there's some people that kind of firmly believe they're bound for greatness? Like whether they're some middle management office schlub and they've read too many sort of like how to climb your way to the corporate ladder of... You know those types? I'm not describing this properly.
I'm going to be the president someday.
Mm-hmm, yep, starting at the mailroom, just waiting for, like at McDonald's, sweeping, waiting for the fry guy to die so I can, like move up the ladder, and firmly believe they do it. They have this habit of referring to like these captains of industry by their first name only, like they know them. Like if they're talking about, so I was reading the Steve Jobs autobiography, and what Steve did was Steve did this, and Anthony Robbins, what Tony does is this, and what have you noticed that, or is that just me? Mm-hmm. Therefore, moving forward, we will use Neil Patrick Harris's full name.
All right. Well, Neil Patrick Harris came out on stage wearing only his tighty whities.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that one?
Yeah. Even though it was the Oscars, Crotch won a SAG award. I believe large portions of the population were reasonably impressed.
Large portions, you say?
Large portions were like, ooh, Doogie, wowzer.
That's what my girlie said. Ooh.
Ooh. Go on.
Eddie Redmayne received a standing ovation for his role as Stephen Hawking.
Kind of ironic when you think about it.
No, please sit down. Please sit down.
Old MPH, didn't he? He did make it sound like he was going to introduce Obama at one point, right?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the president of the Academy.
Right, yeah. The audience knew Obama wouldn't be recognized at this year's Oscars because he's black. Go on.
It rained during the Oscars. My prediction was off. I thought this would be the only year where it didn't rain in the last 10 years, but it was pouring.
Yeah, it rained during the Oscars red carpet. As it turns out, dark skies about the only thing of color at this year's event. Go on.
Patricia Arquette used her speech to call for equal pay for women.
I was wrong. Chicks can be funny. Go on.
Beep. Khloe Kardashian said the vehicle she was driving in Montana spun out of control after driving over a patch of black ice. Black ice. Not black guys. Black ice.
Right, yeah. Speaking of Khloe on top of black things, apparently seeing Lamar Odom again.
Kanye West says that when Beyonce is recording music, she has pictures of Kim Kardashian on the wall.
Right. That makes sense. Just to remind herself, hey, if I couldn't sing, I'd be this.
But not to be.
Yeah.
Pamela Anderson's husband is trying to get their marriage annulled on the basis of fraud.
Yeah. All these years, he thought those things were real. They're not real.
I thought there was an added bonus down south. That's what I would assume.
Right.
Yes,
no, because we've all seen the movie.
Yeah, but there's duct tape involved and stuff, isn't there?
Weren't they married 3 times?
I don't know. It's just the husband that she keeps consciously uncoupling and get back together. Like, what's the deal with that?
They've been married 3 times, and this is the guy. This is Rick Solomon, isn't it? Like Rick Solomon. Rick Solomon is like basically a car dealer or something like that, and he was the one that filmed and released the Paris Hilton sex tape. He sort of started the celebrity sex tape boom of the last 10 or so years, and it's just. I'll never further the Tommy Lee thing. I kind of sort of get, but the rest of the choices that she's made in her life with regard to very strange. Did I see what?
The Pamela Anderson Tommy Lee sex tape.
Oh, of course. That's why whenever I ring someone's doorbell, I laughingly refer to it as doing it Tommy Lee style. Honk, honk. I love you, lover. Just sickening. Go on.
Well, a man in Tulsa, Oklahoma woke up to find his girlfriend trying to bite off his penis.
Yeah. Let this be a warning, guys. All he did was forget to put the toilet seat down.
She's got a nasty overbite, doesn't she?
Thankfully, I think the couple's set to get married, so it's not like he'll be needing a penis moving forward.
Yeah,
so
she'll have it anyway.
Yeah, it's horrible. The fact that he has to live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Go on.
Researchers built a gender-neutral sex toy.
Yeah. Plastic thing that brings pleasure to both men and women. In my house, that is a gift card to Cinnabon. But, potato, potato.
Yummy.
Sex toy that gender-neutral sex... I don't know.
Kris Jenner? Could he be one?
Concave and convex. It would suit either sex.
Ooh, that rhymes there, eh?
Yeah, very good. Go on.
And finally, doctors say the most effective cure for hiccups is inserting a finger in someone's rectum.
I'm calling BS. I tried it this morning on the girl in front of me in line at Starbucks. I still have the hiccups. There you go.
Through Auschwitz, a concentration camp. He wrote, man's search for meaning between torture, cold, and damp. Victor could have just given up and been resigned to his fate, but he used it to write a book that made the world a better place. Bethany Hamilton lost an arm surfing in a shark attack, and what she had to overcome was crazy in the aftermath. Nobody would have blamed her for taking a different path, but she's pro surfing now, so what do you think of that? Helen Keller was an animal caged by being blind, deaf, and mute, but a teacher and soul that never gave up on the truth. That what people say is impossible is just their own perception. Taught Helen how to speak and gave her life its direction. And if a woman can go from being considered to be legally an animal to a college grad activist, symbol of what's possible, don't you think it's true that you might have more to you than whatever people told you you're not smart or strong enough to do? You're giving up on ever being any better than this. You're giving up on the idea that even more exists. Giving up, nothing on earth will end you faster, cause when you lose hope, that's a real disaster. Giving up on ever being any better than this. You're giving up on the idea that even more exists. Giving up, nothing on earth will end you faster, cause when you lose hope, that's a real disaster. Yeah, so many people you see giving up, cause it's easier to face get up than not living up to all the things that you had said you wanted to be. When running away from challenge seems to be so much more easy, cause man's search for meaning means disbelieving, means not perceiving you're less of being, and you got something to offer that no one can take away. It means not accepting what life hands you every single day, and every way you write a story that just belongs to you. So when asked to write your own story, what you gonna do? When asked to write your own story, what you gonna do? When asked to write your own story, what you gonna do? When asked to write your own story, what you gonna do? When asked to write your own story, what you gonna do?
Got somebody to run. Got somebody to run. For now. You're giving up on ever being any better than this. You're giving up on the idea that even more exists.
this. You're giving up on the idea that even more exists. Giving up on nothing on earth will end you faster. Cause when you lose hope, that's a real disaster.
Can you rap?
Yeah.
What's happening? Go ahead and rap for me one time.
No.
And what would you say at a party?
Jamming on the one.
Jamming on the
the show and enjoy AD on the go. iHeartRadio presents AD.
Until I saw this story, I had never heard of the cheese mafia. I don't know many details about the cheese mafia. I kind of wish I could go back in time when I was blissfully ignorant about the existence of the mafia of cheese. This is a story. 48-year-old Patrick Westcott is an employee at a cheese shop in Saint-Guillaume, Quebec. Last week, he tried to steal about 26,500 pounds of cheese. That comes out to about 150 grand. He drove up in a semi-truck. He loaded 20 pallets of cheddar and mozzarella, and he tried to drive off with a lifetime supply of cheese. Fortunately, the cops caught him and arrested him. So how does the cheese mafia factor in? A guy by the name of Jan Jodoin owns a different cheese shop in Quebec, and he's pretty sure the cheese mafia is trying to control the flow of cheese. Oh, it just sounds delicious, doesn't it? The flow of cheese in the province and beyond. He said that they were trying to put the store out of business because competition in the cheese world is incredibly fierce. I had no idea. He said people will go to extreme lengths to eliminate one another in the world of cheese. The cops haven't determined if Patrick was working with the cheese mafia or if he just wanted the 26,500 pounds of cheese for himself. But I got to imagine that as awesome as cheese is, as delicious as it is, there's really only so much, even with the best will in the world, only so much of it you can eat yourself. Hey, that's not working. Oh well. I guess because, whatever freaking board op was in the studio decided to break it before I got here. We'll do the show without